So today we're at the Teagasc Crops Open Day, Crops and Spraying 2015. Obviously we have the open day every 2 years, and we have the highest cereal yields in Ireland, but to achieve those yields we require high inputs of crop protection products. So as usual, the focus on getting the timing right, choosing the correct product, and I guess the big change this year is getting those things applied correctly. Hence we've got the machinery event going on at the same time, the spraying part of the open day. But there are lots of challenges, I guess, facing tillage farmers in Ireland at present and across Europe with the reform of the Common Agricultural Policy. We've got things like the 3-crop rule. So obviously there's a requirement to grow a greater diversity of crops than we have in the past. Hence, we're here in the field. We've got beet varieties. Should the sugar beet industry take off again, we've got oilseed rape. But we've got a whole range of different crops around the farm. We've got oats, we've got beans, as well as the main cereals. And obviously the reform brought in quite a lot of greening requirements for cover crops and gloss. So we're covering really all of the main issues that are facing tillage farmers at present. And again, I suppose with the spraying part, a big part of that, the Sustainable Use Directive, the need to get your sprayer tested, how to prepare your sprayer for the test, and the fact that farmers themselves now need to be qualified to apply pesticides. So we're covering really all of the main topical issues that are currently facing tillage farmers. Big areas of work that we've been concentrating on is spring barley. And spring barley is the single biggest tillage crop in Ireland. Again, we have high yield potential of spring barley, and over recent years we've done a lot of work trying to understand yield formation, how to maximise yield in the crop. And we produced a spring barley guide which was launched at the Tillage Conference in January, and we've been describing that to people and what the implications for that new understanding are for how you grow the crop. So quite a big change in timings of fungicides for spring barley. Bringing the timings earlier means you maximise grain number, and that's the way you maximise yield in spring barley. In contrast to example for wheat, where what you're looking to do is to maximise grain filling. So you're looking to apply your products later and maintain the top 3 leaves in the crop to fill the grains. So that's quite a significant change in terms of our understanding of how to get the best out of the crop and the high yield potential environment that we've got. Well, in terms of beets, there's been a lot of talk over the last year or two about trying to reinvigorate the beet industry in Ireland. As everyone knows, the beet industry ceased some 10 years ago. And really the economics of whether we go back into beet as a country is dependent on the yield potential that we have. And in that 10-year period, there's been a big advance in terms of the varieties that are available to growers. There have been big increases in yields in the UK over that same period. So what we're doing in conjunction with the IFA and Beet Ireland is we're testing some of those varieties here in the field, and we're using a very high yielding fodder beet that was widely grown 10 years ago to compare to. And 10 years ago that fodder beet variety would have out yielded all of the sugar beets, and what we're finding with the new varieties is that they're out yielding the fodder beet. So it does show that the yield potential of the crop has increased quite dramatically. Obviously that's only one part of the picture as to whether the beet industry does become re-established. Over the last couple of years, there's been quite a high incidence of BYDV, barley yellow dwarf virus, in some of the certainly in early drilled winter barley crops, and we have tested over the last couple of years some of the aphid populations, and we do seem to be developing resistance to pyrethroids, the group of products that are most widely used for aphid control. So that's a big area that we're starting to work on, and I suppose until we have new products available, one of the things we've been looking at is the use of seed treatments to try and reduce aphid pressure and control the development of resistance amongst the aphids. One of the key things to knowing if your aphicides are working and whether you're likely to get BYDV is to be able to identify the aphids. So that's been a major thing today, actually demonstrating to people what the different aphids look like, how they can identify them, how they can check to see if the sprays that they're using are being effective. So exploiting the high yield potential that we have in Ireland and also minimising the costs of production going to be an ongoing focus of the work that we're doing within Teagasc.